Okay, so we're at part 2 of my testimony. I got the beautiful tarot cards. I am looking at them a lot in my room. And looking back, that was a little creepy. They were really beautiful, but come on, nothing's that beautiful. I was like looking at them constantly. And then my friend wanted me to do her reading. And that made me feel like, okay, that was like too much. Like I was thinking, oh, they're just beautiful. There's something to display, but I'm not going to use them because I just felt funny about it. But she kept asking me, please do my reading. You're so like, you have such a perception. You're so perceptive. And I think you're very clairvoyant. Like, please do my reading. Please do my reading. And I was like, oh, okay. We looked at the instructions, and she had a book. She had a book on tarot, but like we just looked at the instructions, and I remember doing her reading, and somehow I just knew stuff about her, and or knew what was going to happen, and it was like I knew, and it made me feel really funny, and it's almost like, there's like this sign in the road that's like the road ends, and your car's going to go off a cliff, and you're just like, oh, I'll just keep driving. Why? When you're young, why do you do that? Like, is it lack of confidence? Are you just stupid, or what? Maybe both. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this feels wrong, and my stomach feels like it's in knots, and I somehow know the future of this friend of mine, and she would say, oh, that's true, that did happen when I was a child, and I just was like, I don't know, I've got nothing, but I know I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm still doing it. So then, a friend of ours in our friend group, I would say it was like our friend group, she was hanging out with someone else who wasn't in our friend group, and they had played with a Ouija board, and I didn't know what that was. I remember thinking, what's a Ouija board? I'd never even heard of a Ouija board before. She was telling us all about like how it was like spelling out something, and it was doing this, and we were just like, well, how did you get this Ouija board? Where did you get it? And she said, oh, well, the girl had it. She had it in her house. Can you imagine? Like, people have Ouija boards in their house. It was like the actual official Ouija board. Is it Parker Brothers, or I can't remember who makes this Ouija board, but anyway, they were using a real Ouija board. And she said that it sounded, actually, when I heard the story, I remember thinking, well, that doesn't sound good. That sounds really creepy. That doesn't sound good at all. But everyone was like, ooh, we've got to try it. Let's do it. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it at, they wanted to do it at my house. And I'm like, again, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, just downright stupidity. I don't know, but I was like, okay. So everyone came to my house, and we didn't. Oh, okay. So the girl who she was playing with had the Ouija board. We didn't. But then the girl told her. Oh, I'm supposed to look here. Sorry. I'm here. I'm looking here. So the girl told my friend, no, you can just make one. So because she didn't have one, and I mean, why didn't she just borrow it? I don't know. I guess she felt funny or something asking her to borrow it, but she had said, oh, well, we can just make one. And I'm like, make one? How do you make one? That sounds crazy. So that's what we did. We made one. And I do not suggest that you do this. Okay, warning, warning, warning. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is why I'm a little bit worried to talk about this, but you know what? God is leading me on this. So, if you're seeing this video, it's probably because you're interested in doing it, or you have done it and you're having problems, or you're thinking about doing it. So I hope that this will speak to you. Anyway, so my clock is making noise again. Okay, so we played with it in my room. It was like maybe 4 people, including me. And we had our hands on a quarter, I think it was, or a silver dollar or something. And it was working. It was moving. I mean, you know that whole thing where everyone's like, are you moving it? Are you moving it? And no, we weren't moving it. And you know how you can tell you're not moving it? Because it feels like it's being moved without anyone moving it. Anyway, it was really scary. And I don't really remember what happened exactly. It told us its name, and I don't want to say the name, but I didn't want to do it, so I got off, and it kept spelling out that it wanted me to go on there, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. So I just kind of stood over to the side, and yeah, I just remember that it kept spelling out that it wanted me to come back on there, and because I wouldn't, it stopped. Then I remember our dog Daisy not wanting to come into the room and was growling and baring her teeth. And that was, yeah. If your dog starts baring their teeth and turning themselves inside out and going crazy and there's nothing there, you might want to look at that. That was not a good sign. That was a really, really bad sign. And we were all like totally freaking out, and it was scary. Then I thought, well, I'm never going to do that again. That was horrible. I did not like that at all. And I knew something was not right. Remember, this was before the internet, you know, like this was in, I would say this is like what, around 1987, 88, something like that. We're going way back. Okay. My friend, the one who gave me the tarot cards, after that experience, she just wanted more. And I wanted to never touch that again. But she wanted to make one too. And she wanted us to do it again. And I think she got fixated on the fact that it wanted me to come on there and I wouldn't do it. And she told me, oh, well, that's because you have the gift. You know, you're clairvoyant and it wants to talk to you. It wants to, because it knows you know things. She just went on and on. Again, teach your kids to say no. No, I don't want to. I don't want to, and I don't have to, and I don't want to. Teach your children to say that, okay? Because I obviously did not have that in my mental repertoire. Like, it just didn't exist. I was way too accommodating as a child and as a teenager and as a 20-year-old and even as a 30-year-old. Like, it took me a long time to say, nope, I don't want to. It's not my thing. Thanks anyway. I'm not going to do it. Like I said, a lot of people who make videos on TikTok are very good at this, and I am not. So I understand that this is a long story, and I am not trying to draw it out on purpose. I just, I have a very vague idea of, what I'm doing here. I don't really know what I'm doing, so sorry. Anyway, so we decided to make this Ouija board. We did it at her house, in her room. And there was no snarling dogs there. She had cats. So we just thought, yeah, we'll try it here. I didn't want to do it. I felt really sick and scared. And yet there I was doing this Ouija board thing. Okay, this part's really hard to talk about. And I feel like it's going to get cut off. Maybe I'll just end it here. I don't have to talk the whole 10 minutes. I'll just end it here, and I'll tell you what happened when we did the Ouija board at my friend's house.